I'm now joined by Communications Minister Malcolm Turnbull and Shadow Transport Minister Anthony Albanese. A big round of applause for the lads this morning on World Cup Day. That must make you sick, watching that vision from the Washington, D.C. All that love fest going on, the bromance.
Well, I noticed that there were no questions asked, because if there were questions, they would have got into a debate, I'm sure, about climate change.
Oh, isn't it? It's true.
I don't think climate change
so
is raised.
Early in the morning and so ungenerous, Carl.
No questions.
I mean, really.
No questions. Malcolm's on my side on this, really.
Like later in the morning.
I know.
It's just getting...
He's working
it's
up
all
grumpy.
Downhill from here, Albo.
No.
Look, you would have... The relation... You can see the warmth and empathy between the two men. I mean, Obama said that, Australians are such loyal allies. They're the sort of people you always want to be in a foxhole with.
In a foxhole.
So he wants to be in a foxhole with Tony Abbott.
Exactly.
So how much closer can you get than that?
He's closer to him than you are, Malcolm.
Yeah, well, he's taller than Tony, so he'd be able to look over the top,
I agree, a foxhole's very tight.
So to speak.
Yeah.
All right, obviously some serious stuff went on too. We didn't talk about the situation, the deteriorating situation in Iraq. Now, Malcolm, the President raised the prospect of more intervention or possible some sort of action. He said all options are on the table at the moment. We'll get to that a little bit later in the program, but we wouldn't want to be on the ground there again, would we, in a hurry?
Well, look, I don't think anyone, the American President nor an Australian Prime Minister would contemplate putting troops on the ground back in Iraq with, any equanimity, without a lot of trepidation. But having said that, you have to send a very, very clear message to the terrorists there that are trying to subvert the whole government. Iraq, which was under the shocking tyranny of Saddam Hussein, was liberated in a very costly and bloody war, which we participated in. It has a democratic government which is now being sought to be overthrown. So what President Obama will be doing is working out what is the best way, the most effective way, to support the democratic government in Iraq against this new insurgency.
It's going to be difficult. Intervention again. Obviously, it's early days, but your support, a level of support?
Oh, look, we'd be on a unity ticket on this. Yeah. The scourge of terrorism, the concern about this particular group is that in many ways they're more extreme in terms of some of their ideology even than Al-Qaeda. These are a very dangerous, extreme mob. And seeing the mistreatment of Iraqi soldiers, people who've essentially signed up and now part of a democratic process, is a real concern to the world. And one hopes that it can be resolved in a way that doesn't mean that there's further conflict.
All right, well said, and we'll wait and see what happens with that. We're also talking to the Prime Minister after 7 o'clock this morning. Graham Richardson. Just going to raise Graham Richardson briefly. Thoughts on Graham Richo, just quickly, before I play something? Anything?
I don't think about him a lot.
Don't you?
No.
He thinks about you.
He lives in my electorate. He's a constituent, so I actually...
He thinks about you often.
I'm constantly concerned about the welfare of my constituents, particularly those like Richo with young families.
All right, well, this is what Richo had to say on the show on Monday.
There's no flame at the moment, but I think Malcolm has a flame just in the back of his head. And I think Malcolm is saying to himself, you never know your luck in a big city. I've got to keep putting my hand up. I've got to say to them all, look at me, I'm still here. And that's what he's doing.
Well, he says it's 2 years away and there's a flame flickering somewhere back there. Is it still flickering, Malcolm?
Well, honestly, I don't want to fan any flames this morning other than the mutual flame of adoring you, Carl. That's the thing. This will just make this a Carl adulation session.
You can't throw it back onto me, even though I like you to.
Yeah, good. You see, see, you like it.
It does work both ways.
It
does work both ways. 2 years away. That's about right time for you and taking over from Bill Shorten, isn't it, Anthony?
No, I'll be being sworn in, I hope, as part of the Shorten ministry.
You harbour ambition though for the top job, don't you?
That's my plan, is to be sworn in a couple of years, and
as the PM.
As a minister in the Shorten government, and I've got to say, with this shocker of a budget, the chances are increasing every day.
10,000 protesting yesterday in Melbourne. There's still a lot of work to do, isn't there?
Well, look, it's a tough budget. There's no doubt about that. But the fact is this: Labor left us with revenues below expenditures, deficits as far as the eye could see, heading to $667 billion of debt. Within the decade. So something had to be done. Now, we've set out a range of measures, cutting spending, raising taxes to bridge the gap. And the real challenge for Albo and Shorten is this. Unless you believe that we should leave this massive load of debt to our children and grandchildren, and unless you believe that fiscal responsibility is irrelevant, then what is your alternative plan? Because if Labor don't like the spending cuts we've made, and they clearly don't, then they've got to tell us what are the additional taxes they would raise to make up the difference. Because, you know, the onus is on you, Albo.
Well, 10-second response, Albo, because we're out of time.
The white flag has gone up on fairness on this budget. Joe Hockey's been out there trying to sell what is a dog of a budget, saying that it's fair. People know it's unfair. It's unfair on those people who are pensioners, those people who need to go to the doctor, those people who want to educate their kids and their grandkids. This is an unfair budget, and all of the rhetoric is blown away that Malcolm just said by the fact that they're introducing a paid parental leave scheme that costs about $5.5 billion. Every year.
We've got to go. The World Cup is on. Have a great time, and I look forward to seeing you guys in a foxhole in the very near future. You're okay this morning? Very quiet this morning.
We'd love to be. I think foxhole, but it'd be...
I think it's getting crowded out, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a lot of people in that foxhole, but you know, you're looking very trim, Carl. I think you'd slip into the foxhole.
It's not going to work, my friend. How trim? Over to you, Lisa. Thanks, guys.